Welcome into my new series, which I'm calling Tiny Random Readings. This tiny random reading is about Molly Qerim and what happened with her leaving First Take. If you watch First Take, she was the host of First Take. She left about a few weeks ago, and I just wanted to see what happened. This is a series I've been wanting to do, so I'm going to start with Molly, and we're going to maybe do some more. Let's get into the cards as if Molly was my client. So before we get into Molly's reading, I want to get into the songs that I got. So because I can't play music on YouTube, I shuffled songs before I started recording as I was setting up. If you haven't seen my readings before, I use shufflemancy, which is the use of divination through music. I use it in my readings. I use it to answer questions. I use it in client readings. So the songs I got beforehand were very interesting in terms of the energy. The first song I got was Beres Hammond, Tempted to Touch. And that was an interesting song in itself. It's an old reggae song if you don't know. But the lyrics that stood out to me were, "Come on, baby, let's sit down. Talk about it, close the deal, eh? Good vintage wine, sweet conversation, you and I, let's get started." So why this stood out to me is because part of the reasoning that she left is because prior to her leaving, she was in contract negotiations. And based on these lyrics, it seems to me that they were sweetening her up, they were buttering her up, they probably were taking her out of the office to have these conversations. They were probably telling her all good things about what was to come and what they were going to give her and what they wanted her to do and things like that. It feels like because it's tempted to touch, it's like this man like trying to flirt with this woman, and so the conversation or the negotiations almost feel like that in a way. The next song that I got was from a group that I just learned today what their name actually was. I thought their name was Quadron, but their name is Quadroon. I didn't know that because it's missing the O. Okay, but they're a group from Denmark. Apparently they're a quarter Black, so they wanted to tell people. It's weird because I used this word earlier today. It's an old ass word, so the fact that it showed up twice in one day it's strange. It's just strange. Anyway, the song is called Simile Life. Okay, let me read you some of the lyrics. So it starts with, "I know truth hurts. I know the truth can hurt. I'm glad that you told me. No pun intended, everything is falling. This simile life. Living on this lie on your dirty mattress. Can't chase the hunter. Will you be the catcher? This simile life. I know it hurts. Somebody was telling me I could change my own seasons. Somebody was telling me I could alter my reasons, and then that repeats. The wounds won't lick themselves. Let time be the healer. Let bygones be bygones." And those are just some of the lyrics from the song. So within that song, the first thing that stood out to me was, "I know the truth can hurt. I'm glad that you told me." So there's some part of these negotiations, it feels like to me, that um, she might have expressed what she thought about one thing, and they basically, I'm assuming, either let her know up front or she found out somehow that they were never seeing it the way that she saw it, or they didn't see her the way that they pretended in the first song that they saw her, or they were never going to do some part of what she was asking for, that they pretended that they were going to do at some point. And then you have this simile life. So like the simile life, I'm assuming means that it's a simulation, right? It's not real. The shit that I've been doing, the part that I've been playing, the life that I've been leading, in a sense, is not real because I found out who the fuck you really think I am, or how you really feel about me, or who y'all actually are, you know? And then you have the lyrics of "living on this lie on your dirty mattress." So there's something about that where it's like shit is not exactly as it seems to the public, or shit is not exactly as it seems to others that may work there, and she may know some things, you know what I mean? And it's like counter to who she actually wants to be, or how she wants to be seen. And then it goes back into the chorus of the simile life. "I know this truth hurts. somebody was telling me I could change my own seasons. So that to me speaks to her taking this decision in her own hands and deciding, you know what, because I know who the fuck y'all are, because I know how y'all think about me, because I know that this is a place I wasn't necessarily happy anyway. um it's probably just best for me to just like change, you know what I mean? Like somebody said I was telling me I could change my own season. So like this is a part of my life that I've been in. It's time for it to end. I'm going to move on. I was telling someone I could alter my reasons. And again, it's like, it feels like some part of this is like counter to who she is, or it's been counter to who she is, or something about it is like greasy or like mucky or some shit. And she really didn't like want to deal with it, it feels like. Then it says, let time be the healer, let bygones be bygones. But it also feels like there's an aspect of hurt here, because the wounds won't lick themselves is also lyric. So again, it feels like she found out how they feel about her, or that they were lying to her. Things were already kind of a mess behind the scenes, whether that's within the company or the show itself. And she was starting to feel like it's not who she is, or it's counter to who she is, or something like that. And so it feels like she once she found out this information and she was already feeling how she was feeling, it was a situation where it was like, well, let me decide where I want to go next. You know, do I want to keep doing this, or do I want to actually move on and like have my shit look different and have it look like more closely aligned with what I want life to look like, you know? So that's what I get from the cards. It's a lot of information from the cards. I mean, excuse me, from the songs, just from 2 songs. And there were a few other songs that came on. Picture Perfect came on by Eric Roberson. I think she also may have somebody in her life, it may be a partner, or a love interest that's basically like telling her, you're better than this. You don't have to do this. You don't deserve the way they're treating you, or you deserve more, or something like that. Because the lyrics of that song are very much like building into somebody like, you're perfect. Everything about you is perfect, listing different things about them that's perfect. And so I think somebody was just reminding her who the fuck she was, and that she didn't have to deal with that. And that's why she so abruptly, you know, walked out. And if it wasn't somebody specific, then I think that she's done a lot of work in terms of self-love to like put herself in a place to know what the fuck she deserves and to not take less than that. So I want to get some cards, even though we got a lot of information. I want to get some cards and see what more we can get. So I'm leaving the songs on in the background on mute, just so I can see what else plays. What's playing right now is God Frequency. I know that she's talked a lot about her faith and her religion, and I think being that the song playing is God Frequency 963 Hertz, which deals with the crown chakra, I feel like it wasn't just in her own intuition. It was like there were signs, there was, guidance, like celestial guidance, in terms of her being told and shown like it was time to leave, even before I feel like this happened. Um, and so that's part of why I feel like the decision was made the way it was. All right, I'm not getting anything from this deck. Oh, as soon as I say that, what I just said. What did I just say? Okay, right. Let's see if there's anything else from this deck. It doesn't feel like it. Oh, okay. And then I just got a whole bunch of shit. Okay, we had some things fall on the floor. Let's see what we got. So we had our Archangel Michael, protection, prevention from harm, divine intervention. Okay. So like I said, she's definitely religious. She's definitely protected by the celestial. She is angelic protection, right? You have Archangel Michael. He do not play. Angels are not like cute little babies with wings. If you don't know, get into it. Okay. Not conversation for another day. Anyway, next card we have is trapped, stuck, no options, and forgiveness. Okay. We then have smell the roses, slow down, take some time, take some you time, excuse me, get out in nature. The nightlife, striptease, gamble, Vegas, glow up, new opportunities, new career, successful business, and then thrills, continuous cycles, bad decisions, addictions. Okay, so let's dive into these cards. So it definitely feels like she felt trapped in this situation for a number of reasons. You know what? Let me pull. I was gonna get into what I thought, but I'm gonna just pull some clarifiers to just validate. I feel like it was like the job itself, right? The actual like time constraints of the job itself, but then like the place itself. I feel like, right? I feel like it was also like there's a lot of restriction in terms of working for the company that they work for. It feels like, and you can't really do much. You can't move the way you want to. You can't like, you know. All right, I'm not getting nothing from this one either. Interesting. Um, yeah, but it feels restrictive, not only in the actual job itself, but like um, what she could do, how she could grow in other areas, um, especially because you have the glow up, new opportunities, new career, successful business on top of it. Like there's other things it feels like that she wanted to do. And this at this point just feels like a bad cycle. Like it says bad decisions and continuous cycles, but it feels like a bad cycle. Like it feels like um and I feel like at some point the money was good. I feel like the money was good at some point, but it's just like, is it worth it at this point? I feel like it's just like taking a toll, and the fact that they're not even paying more, it's like even if they were paying more, I feel like she might have considered it again, which wouldn't necessarily not have been the best decision for her to make. But them deciding for her allows her to be able to get out, take time to herself, actually figure out what the fuck she wants, what she wants to do, or like how she wants to do what she already knows that she's feeling like doing, right? You then had the like nightlife, striptease, gamble, Vegas. For me, this feels more so like the gamble, like taking the gamble on yourself for new opportunities. But it could also be that like she's out here fucking living it up because she ain't got to get up at the crack of ass every day and deal with Stephen A's yelling ass. You know what I mean? Could be that. So let me see if I can get anything else. Okay, temperance card. Okay, so we have the temperance card, the ace of cups, and the star card. So I feel like I said, she needed much more balance. There's more opportunity in where she's going and what she's doing than she ever had in this situation, right? I feel like she bet on herself, and they weren't really expecting that. Like it feels like they weren't necessarily expecting her to bet on herself. But I also feel like whatever it is that she's about to do, she was already kind of doing it in a way. Like this person has their foot in the water and then one foot on the land. And so it feels like part of this was something she was already doing or already considering or like already kind of had her foot into or has a footing in some way. Maybe that's like within other people, you know, like being able to get her into it or something like that. But it's definitely a situation where, and even in this card, you have the person's foot in the water, right? It's definitely a situation where she needed to step out and have more balance in her life. This shit was not, it was out of balance. Like whatever this job required of her was out of balance for what she actually wanted in life. And I feel like them um looking less at her or like not wanting a page of pentacles on the bottom, not wanting to like give her the deal that she wanted because it feels like more than just money. It feels like she might have been asking for something else, like more like TV deals or rights or something. I don't really know a lot about TV. You know what I mean? Production credit or something. I really don't know. You know what I mean? Or like to do something more on her own, you know, like a show on her own or for them to produce something she wanted to do or something like that, and they just weren't down to do it. Like I'm looking at the Converse and like them not wanting to move on it, you know. And it allows her to be able to step out on herself and be able to make the moves and the projects possibly that she kind of wants to make. um I would like to see how the other people were feeling about her leaving. Okay, so maybe I'll try this deck. I want to see how the team of the show felt overall about her leaving. And then I'll get into maybe individual people. Okay. You're all upside down. Damn. Okay. All right. Number one, we have all reversed ass cards. Okay. Okay. Um so we have spiritual strength reverse. Then so we have spiritual strength reverse, partnership is sin alliances, temptation, emotional withdrawal. Temptation is also reverse. Harmony reverse. Then base chakra, heart chakra reverse. Then the destiny card. Let me move this over so y'all can kind of see that. And the reward and recognition. I can pick it up. Reverse. Okay. So overall, as a I'm gonna call them a first take family. As a first take family, I feel like they were pissed. Okay. They were upset, they were sad, they felt abandoned, um, gets giving heartbroken. They feel like, in a sense, she was like out for self. It feels like people might have like stopped taking her phone calls, or she herself just like removed herself after this happened and kind of stopped talking to people. The spiritual strength card, the partnerships and alliances reverse, the base chakra, the emotional withdrawal. It feels like I said, it feels like they feel like she was out for self. That feels like they felt like it was a selfish decision, that it was about money and her, in a sense, being greedy in their minds. I feel like the recognition and reward card speaks to them not saying really shit about what happened other than like that day, and him being like kind of passive aggressive about it, and them just moving on like she was never there. Um, to an extent, I think that's normal, but like, is it though? You know, like, right. But after the pandemic, I feel like we all kind of know these jobs don't care about us. You're just a number. You're just a chair, right? Then you have this destiny card and the base. So at some point or in some part of the hurt that they feel, they know she's doing the best thing for herself, even if it's something that fucking doesn't seem like it's the best for them, or something that's really hurtful to them. It very clearly seems that they know like it's the best for her, and even though they know that, they're still not gonna give her any props for that, it feels like. But like I said, we had the material and spiritual prosperity on the bottom. So it's like, it's a good move for her. That it was financially based, right? But it's still hurtful for them. Like, they feel like she shouldn't have left, you know, is what it feels like. Let me see if I can see like what Stephen A specifically felt. Yeah, makes sense. Salty, bitter, angry, petty. Did I not just say that? I did. I did. All right. Nurturing, mentorship, wisdom, giving back. Okay. So he's mad because he feel like, girl, I mentored you. Like, I brought you up in this. Like, I taught you how to do this, and you're just gonna leave me like that. Delay, procrastination, too busy, time, um, recharge, breathe, let go, clear your mind. And then lust, greed, by any means necessary, inconsiderate. So, mm-hmm. Like I said before, I feel like he was hurt and upset. He feels like she was kind of like his little sister, or like, his protege in a sense. and she kind of just gave up on them. And I feel like initially he was really, really upset, and now he's less upset, like with the recharge, clear your mind, especially under the salty petty. I feel like he's less upset about it, but also for him, it's just all about him, you know, which makes a lot of sense. So, yeah. Yeah. Um, let me see. Is there anything else? Any of the other anchors? How Dan feel? Let's see. Anything? Okay, so these had fell on the floor. We have waves, emotions, worry, fear, epiphany, self-reflection, answered questions, untapped talents, apology, arrogant, rash actions, insincere, and then legal, lawyers, court, paperwork. So I feel like the other people went through waves of emotions. They probably felt upset too. They were probably angry, but also like, again, everybody knows it's the best decision for her. I feel like it also had them questioning um, where they work, you know, their own contracts, their own dealings with the company, with the show itself. Um, you have apology. So that's interesting because this person is like angry. So I feel like people might have lashed out at her and then had to come back and be like, I'm so sorry. You know, I was upset, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Because it just feels like people were hurt. Nobody really at the moment like took time to see how she was feeling. And then you have this legal. So some of these apologies may be coming because people are scared of like what she might come back with or what she might do. That's interesting. Let's see if there's anything there. And then we'll wrap this up. Oh, and then the bottom card in this deck is actually distance, divorce, ghosted, separation. So she's definitely lost relationships with people. I feel like most of the people that work on the show are probably not talking to her anymore. And then this card wants to pop out, which is upsetting. Feels like to all of them. Okay, what about this legal thing? I get triumphant success. So if she does sue, I think she'll be successful. And then I get the shadow card that popped out. So like I said before, there are things that like I feel like she definitely may know. And then the truth card is on the bottom. I feel like there are definitely things that she may know about whatever goes on behind the scenes, whether at that specific show or at the company in general. She's been there for a long ass time. She's held on to some of the things that, you know, she knows or has or something. And I feel like I said, if she was to go the legal route for some reason, for whatever that means, she is the truth on her side. And I feel like she could possibly definitely win, you know. And on the bottom, we have laughter, happiness, joy, healing. So I feel like even though it made me sad that Molly left, I'm really glad that she left based on these cards. It seems like it was a really good decision for her. It seems like this company was way out of alignment with who the fuck she is now and where she's trying to go and the person she's trying to be and kind of the morals and the values that she has in a way. And that they got some stuff going on behind the scenes that is kind of like not kosher. And you know, she was just ready to like move the fuck on. I wonder what she's gonna be doing next. I just split the deck. I got Crown, Personal Power. This is actually art and a museum. So like it could be like showcasing something. She could be doing her own art. Like I said, producing. She could be doing something in television, some kind of show, or it could be like a podcast or something like that because you can't see the person. Or she could be doing some behind the scenes shit with like art direction or creativity or something like that. So it's definitely giving an artsy vibe, but it's definitely something that she's gonna be doing that's like owning, you know, like it has her name on it, it's her idea, it's her concept, something like that. So Yeah, and then it just gave me the anchor stability, just like walking through new doors. So maybe it's completely different. Maybe it has nothing to do with sports. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so this is what I'm getting for this reading. Y'all let me know what you think about the cards, what you think about what I came up with, what you think about the songs that we got in the beginning. Yeah, very interesting reading.